Hi, my friends and patients call me Dr. Sherry. I'm a naturopath doctor in Fort Worth, Texas. I decided to continue my career in health after attending NTSU in Denton, Texas by obtaining a clinically designed nutritional certification and a state-of-the-art chiropractor technique from Parker Chiropractor College, also in Texas. I received my MD in 1996. I chose Hay House long before I became acquainted with Sherilyn Reed's Movers and Shakers tour. As a matter of fact, I've often promised my patients that I would write their miracle chapter on healing in my book, published by Louise Hay. After 17 long years of practicing, I began asking God to provide me a glorious, peaceful home in the mountains so that I could write my book of healing miracles without any disturbances. Last year, God forked it over, and I was rewarded all that I asked for from the universe. Live or Die is written for the layman to comprehend with user-friendly examples of techniques and supplements for self-healing. I've used true stories with permission from my patients to tell their fantastic, life-changing results. I have been, and to this day remain, a practicing naturopath doctor. A naturopathic doctor treats the human body with natural food and nutrition. Due to wonderful nutrition made from whole foods, I'm very proud to write and confirm that 2 patients have come off the liver transplant list. Over 5 patients have saved their colon rather than having a suggested colostomy. Dozens of Alzheimer's disease patients have regained clarity. Thousands have regained total health and energy by clearing allergies, yeasts, staph, and bacteria that antibiotics could never heal. I treat emotional problems with tapping. I also use tonality with a soft humming sound while I am adjusting a patient's spine. At the end of each miracle story, I've provided golden rules to follow, solutions, positive affirmations, and an illustrated foot chart. I treat patients by muscle testing acupressure points throughout the body. I became a doctor of naturopathy with hopes of healing my own infertility problems. This little 8-pound, 2-ounce miracle named Mylan is a chapter in the book. Another glorious moment of healing and light happened more recently. One humid summer evening, I decided to take my bicycle for a spin, as I've done for some years now. I was mulling over in my mind a particular patient that had been diagnosed with Alzheimer's disease. I was thanking God for helping me help this woman named Wanda. I was basking in the universal consciousness of divine mercy of love, hardwired to 20, you might say, straight into the wonderment of God. I was one with nature as I pedaled along the country road when out of the blue came an old hound dog that began following me as I cycled from one country block to the next. Suddenly, the dog darted out to a nearby field. I could see that he was chasing something that appeared to be a small animal. I jumped off the bike and ran through briars and thickets, only to discover a wounded fawn. I began to scream as anyone would have. I yelled for the dog to back off, but that hound dog was relentless. Over and over, the attacker would rush upon the tiny fawn and throw it down by its neck. After the 4th onslaught, I began to feel a black cloud of defeat come over me. Just as I turned tail to surrender, I remembered that I had a personal archangel by the name of Michael. "Michael," I yelled, looking above, "provide me with a protective bubble of white light." Like magic, the mean old dog backed off as if there were an invisible fence keeping him away from baby. I now had a big circle to work in, and even though I had never adjusted an animal's spine until that day, I gently proceeded to stroke the twisted neck until it was lined up vertebra to vertebra. I carried the fawn home and placed him in a large dog pen and covered him with hay that night. I prayed. I beckoned to Mother Mary, decade after decade, on my tiny white rosary. "Hail Mary, full of grace, bless baby, and may he be alive in the morning." I could not sleep that night, so I decided to review some pictures that my stepson Kyle had taken of me holding the little baby before sunset. Each picture had an unmistakable large bubble of white light surrounding the images of our successful mission. I waited till the break of dawn to reveal the condition of the fawn. I awakened early the next morning. Steam was rolling off my coffee cup as the cold day rested my fears. Baby was standing up and dancing around anxiously to find his lost mommy. I opened the gate and he trotted off. As the leaves turned to golden brown, that autumn sweltering Texas heat finally began to cool down. One afternoon I took off again on my bicycle around sunset. 2 deer caught my eye, so I lowered my feet to the asphalt to take a better look. One deer looked to be an adult, while the other's gaze looked ever so familiar. It wasn't the look of the animal, rather the look the animal showed me, which was unmistakable trust. Mother and baby had found one another and reunited in those golden wind-blown fields once more. My thoughts returned to Wanda. Through this yearling's eyes, the universe had given me validation regarding Wanda's progress. Wanda once had a look similar to that of a wounded deer. Now she sees her loving family and friends for who they are. Thank you.